Hello friends, welcome back to our channel NEET Biology Expert. I am Dr. Parveen. In this lecture series, we are studying class 12 biology chapter reproductive health. So in this particular lesson, we are going to study about our second sexually transmitted bacterial disease, that is syphilis. So what is syphilis, how it spreads, what are the symptoms, what are its treatment measures? Let's see in this lesson. Right. So what is the causative agent for syphilis? Syphilis is a bacterial disease caused by the bacteria Treponema palladium. So this is a spirochete. Spirochete means a spring-shaped bacteria. Okay, spring-shaped bacteria. So the important characteristics of this bacteria is it is transmitted only amongst the human beings. So from one human to human, another human only it gets transmitted. There is no another host like animals or birds or any other host or any vectors for this disease. Only human is the host. Okay, and this bacteria, while doing the gram staining, it looks like gram negative, but it's not actually so, because most strains they do not take up the gram staining. See, gram staining is basically done for the bacteria whichever is having good cell wall, right? So this bacteria Treponema, its cell wall is lacking outside lipopolysaccharide. Okay, so most of the strain they do not take up the stain, so they appear like gram negative. But we preferably do another staining technique called silver impregnation staining or reuse staining. So these are the two important staining to identify this organism. So look at this picture here. This a spring shaped structure, this beautiful spring shape. All the spring shaped structures are the Treponema pallidum, which is a spirochete. Right? So this bacteria cause the disease syphilis. Syphilis is present basically in three different stages. Three different stages means initially the stage is called primary syphilis. If it is not treated, it progresses into the second stage, that is the secondary syphilis, and later it also progresses into the tertiary syphilis. Okay. So these are the three different stages of syphilis, and here the important thing is the symptoms of these three stages they vary. So the symptoms they won't be same in all the three stages. So it varies highly. Okay. So let's see what is primary syphilis, the first stage of the syphilis. So once the bacteria enters into a human body, after some period of time, after the incubation time, generally it takes 10 to 90 days is the incubation period of this organism. Okay, so after 10 to 90 days, it varies with every member's their immunity level, everything. So after 10 to 90 days, the first symptom of the syphilis starts to appear. So what is that? That is the chancre. That is called chancre. So what is chancre? Chancre is a painless ulcer on the external genitalia. So we know that this organism spreads through sexual intercourse. So it settles in the genital region and starts to produce the first symptom, that is ulcer. Look at this picture here. This man is having two ulcers on his penis. Okay, this is actually on the bottom side, okay, of the penis, and here also one ulcer. So these ulcers are appear, though they appear on the skin, they are not painful. So the patient they won't recognize. Okay, so they leave this unattended. That is the main important problem in this primary syphilis. So acquired by direct sexual contact with the infectious lesions of the another person. So how this is coming? If for example, if this man is having this chancre, so he is not identifying it, he is not recognizing because it's not painful. If he has sexual intercourse, the bacteria present in this ulcer, okay, so it gets transmitted to his partner, so the woman also gets it. So like this it spreads initially from this chancre. Okay, and here another important thing is this chancre or the ulcers, they diminishes means they subsided between 4 to 8 weeks without any medications. So because the person they don't recognize, there is no pain, nothing. So what happens, it automatically subsides in 4 to 8 weeks. So what happens here exactly? The bacteria which settled on the skin region, it enters deep in the body. Now it is mixing with the blood. Okay, and it progresses to the second stage. So that leads to the secondary syphilis. Here, the first symptom in the primary syphilis is chancre or the painless ulcer. This is also called as genital ulcer. Genital ulcer. Okay, so if it is unattended or not diagnosed, it may lead to the secondary stage. That is called secondary syphilis. What happens in the secondary syphilis? Here, the secondary syphilis occurs approximately 4 to 10 weeks after the primary infection. Okay, so after primary infection occurs, 10 weeks later only the secondary infection occurs. So now the bacteria get mixed with the blood. So the symptoms will be in different regions, not only in the genital parts, it will be appearing in the different regions of the body, such as on the skin, in the mucous membranes, all the mucous membrane, respiratory membranes, genital membranes, urinary tract membranes, like the different regions, and in the lymph nodes also. Okay, and what happens here? Visible symptoms will be on the skin, particularly skin lesions, maculopapular rashes will be there. See here on the skin, these are the lesions. Okay, here rashes will be there. So these are the symptoms of the secondary syphilis, and the patient will have swollen joints. That means arthritis means its means inflammation. So inflammation of the joints will be there. Malaise means severe body pain. Okay, fever, hair loss. So these symptoms are present in the secondary syphilis. Okay, here in this condition, this is obviously visible. They may undergo treatment. If the treatment is not completed, full course is not completed, if some bacteria present in the blood, this may lead to the next stage, that is called tertiary syphilis. Okay, now here this tertiary syphilis, they won't occur immediately. It won't occur. They may occur approximately 3 to 15 years later after the initial infection. So it takes more time. The organism, it subsides, it's hidden in the body, and suddenly it appears again. For some people it may appear after 3 years, or for some people 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years. That depends upon their so okay, so now it comes in many different forms. So what are the different forms of this tertiary syphilis? Gummatous syphilis, neurosyphilis, cardiovascular syphilis. Gummatous syphilis, it appears in 15% people, neurosyphilis in 6.5% people, and cardiovascular syphilis in 10% people. Any one of this could appear seriously in the tertiary stage. Okay, so let us see what are these. So tertiary syphilis symptoms. Gummatous syphilis means here something called gummas. Gummas develop. Gummas are soft, non-cancerous growth. Okay, there is some growth on the skin. See here, these things, they are non-cancerous growth. These are called gummas. Okay, so this will appear for some. Neurosyphilis means they affects the meningitis. Meningitis means the external covering of the brain and spinal cord is called meninges. So inflammation of the meninges will be there. So in neurosyphilis, meningitis, inflammation of the meningeal covering will be there. So the organism affects near the brain and the spinal cord. So in that case, the patient will have loss of movement, visual impairment, could not able to see properly, mental disorder. These conditions will be there because it affects the brain and spinal cord covering meninges. Okay, that is called neurosyphilis. Third one is cardiovascular syphilis. So since the bacteria gets mixed with the blood, it goes to the heart. Okay, it affects the aorta of the heart. So what is aorta? Aorta is the biggest blood vessel which directly emerges out from the heart, and it supplies to the different regions of the body. So here what happens? Aortic aneurysm. Aneurysm means thickening of the aorta. For example, if this is a normal size aorta, the blood vessel, here aneurysm means very much thick and double, triple size. Okay? So this is aortic aneurysm, or even you call this as aortitis. inflammation in this aorta. Okay, so heart problem arises in case of cardiovascular syphilis. And the next one is appearance of the chronic ulcers on the nose, lower legs and the palate. Okay, so look here, in this cases, these are the ulcers on the nose region. This will be present for any of these people, either with gummatous or neurosyphilis or with cardiovascular syphilis. There will be ulcer on this nose region, lower parts on the legs and palate. Palate means on the top of the oral region like this. So there will be ulcer. Okay, these are the symptoms of the tertiary syphilis. We have here another important thing called congenital syphilis. So what is congenital syphilis? Congenital syphilis means that transmission of the infection from the mother to the fetus. Okay, that is called congenital infection. That means the baby is still in the uterus, but the infection is spreading from the mother to the baby. So this is a vertical transmission. Vertical transmission means the infection which spreads from mother to the fetus. Okay, that is called vertical transmission. So what is congenital syphilis? Congenital syphilis is acquired by the fetus in the uterus before birth. Okay, not after birth. Before birth itself, the baby gets affected. But the symptoms not apparent until several weeks or month. The baby is now born. There won't be any symptoms. Okay, you know that even in the primary syphilis, the patient have just an ulcer. It won't be painful, so they remain undiagnosed. So similarly here, there are no visible symptoms for the baby. Okay, it takes few years for the symptoms to appear in the baby. That means in the baby younger than 2 years old, the symptoms may include. So after the baby is born, maybe in 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, the symptoms starts to appear. Okay, what problem arises? There will be enlargement in the liver and spleen of the baby. So enlargement of the liver is called as hepatomegaly. Megaly means size is increased. What size? Hepatic. Hepatic means liver. So hepatomegaly. Similarly, splenomegaly. Spleen size is increased. So there will be some bulging on the belly. It's called belly mass in the baby. 1.5 years or 2 years baby, they will have this symptom. Okay, and the baby will not eat properly and failure to gain weight, or even if some baby is born, there will be poor birth weight or they won't survive also if not treated. Okay. And there will be fever, irritability and crackling of the skin around the mouth, genital areas and anus. So if you see around the mouth region of the baby like this, there will be crackling of the skin. This is present for the babies born to a mother infected with this syphilis. Okay, congenital syphilis. So here approximately 40% of the babies born to the women with untreated syphilis can be stillborn. The baby may die in the womb itself, or if they born, they will have like this. Okay, later. Then if a pregnant mother is identified as being infected with syphilis, we have to give immediate treatment. Then only the infection will not spread to the fetus. Okay, particularly it is better to give the treatment before 16th week of pregnancy. So if the mother is pregnant, if she is having syphilis, it's better to give treatment before the baby is grown up to 16th week. This may avoid all these complications for the born. Okay, right. So let us see how this infection syphilis spreads. We know that this is a sexually transmitted disease, so obviously it spreads through the sexual intercourse with the infected person. And second mode of transmission is from a mother to the child. Okay, so that is called vertical transmission. Infection from the mother to her baby. And this bacteria is able to pass through intact mucous membrane. They pass through the mucus secretion, salivary secretion, genital secretion, like this mucous membrane secretion, it gets able to pass. So that's why during sexual intercourse, it spreads even by kissing, a source of mode of transmission. Clear? Okay. But another important thing we have to remember that this bacteria do not survive long period outside the body. So they die within few minutes to hours. So within that few minutes, if they transmit through any other objects, there may be chances. If not, they get dried and they die. Okay, clear? Now, the incubation for this organism is 10 to 90 days. This is important. So, you can ask why this so much of variation, 10 days, 90 days. That depends upon the immunity of a patient. Okay, that depends upon immunity of a person and depends upon number of organism enters. Number of organism. If more number of bacteria enters inside, they escape from the immune system and they cause the symptoms immediately within 10 days. If few number of organisms is there, they slowly multiply and then it starts its first symptoms like that. Okay, there are several factors for this variation in the time duration. Okay, now let us see what are the diagnostic techniques available for this syphilis. So this bacteria is difficult to diagnose clinically during the early stages of the infection, because we have seen that in the primary syphilis even the patient won't recognize that he is having the ulcer, because the ulcer is painless. Okay, so it is highly difficult to diagnose in the early stages unless somebody notices his genital region. And from the genital region, if this is the chancre or the ulcer present, this contains the bacteria. So we can take a swab or some skin scrapings from this region. Okay, now so the better option is to do laboratory test using antibodies from the patient. So how this is diagnosed? We have to collect the blood sample of the patient, centrifuge the blood sample, so all the RBCs get settled down and WBCs will be there, and followed by the Buffy code will be there. So on the supernatant here contains plasma. Okay, plasma contains antibodies, immunoglobulins. So if the patient is having the infection, there must be definitely antibodies present in his serum or the plasma. Now we have to identify this using some serological technique called VDRL, Venereal Disease Research Laboratory Test, VDRL test, RPR, Rapid Plasma Reagent Test, Treponema pallidum particle agglutination, TPHA test, fluorescent antibody treponema absorption test, FTA-ABS. So all these tests, they detect the bacteria antibodies against this bacteria. Okay, now we have some immediate test technique that is called dark field microscopy. We know that this bacteria we could not able to do gram staining, so the better option is to collect the chancre lesions or the pus from the chancre. Okay, whatever is coming in the vaginal or the genital discharge, put it in a microscope slide and then just keep a cover slip on that. Okay, and observe this under dark field microscopy. So in the dark field microscopy, we could see beautifully bright color bacteria against a dark background, like how we see stars in the night sky. Okay, the background will be black and the bacteria appears bright like this. Okay, even few bacteria, one or two are there, we could easily diagnose using the dark field microscopy. This is not a staining technique, so we could able to see the motile organism, they are live. Okay, so dark field microscopy is the best technique for identifying this bacteria in the laboratory. Clear? Okay, now so let us see what is the treatment option for the syphilis. The best drug of choice for syphilis is penicillin. Penicillin is the drug of choice. Sometimes if that is a tertiary case, we could use doxycycline also. Okay, but still penicillin is the best drug for syphilis. Okay, here there is no vaccine for the disease, so we could able to prevent it by using condoms during sexual intercourse, or in the prenatal diagnosis, if the woman is pregnant, mother is having the disease, could be given proper treatment so that it won't pass to the fetus. Like this, preventive methods are there. Okay, there is no vaccine for this disease. Okay, here. So our next lecture will be about chlamydia. Chlamydia is also a bacterial sexually transmitted disease. Okay, so if you like this lesson, like, share and subscribe to our channel NEET Biology Expert. Thank you.